Hi, my name is Ashone Chathalil. I will be talking about justice today. First, let me tell you a story about justice. Once there was this prince named Prince Lapio. He was smart and good looking, but he was unfair and did not care about justice. His father, the king, was worried about him, so he asked a wise man to teach him justice. Then the wise man took him to the sea, and they got hit by a storm, and their ship got destroyed. They landed on a deserted island. Fortunately, Lapio knew how to fish, and after he caught fish, the wise man asked Lapio if he could share some fish with him. But Lapio said no and refused to give it to him. Later, it got harder to catch fish, and the old man started to catch birds. Lapio begged the wise man to share the food, but the wise man refused, as the prince did. Then the wise man told Lapio if he could say what justice means, he would give him food. Lapio then said it means to share equally, and the wise man congratulated him and gave him food. That afternoon, a ship saved them, and they were going home. The wise man made them stop at a small village, and they saw a beggar begging on the ground, and they saw a poor man serving them, and they also saw a rich man taking care of them. Prince Lapio wanted to give them some gold. He made 3 piles and gave the big one to the poor man, the middle one to the rich man, and gave the small one to the beggar. He gave them that specific amount because he shared what the people did and what they needed. He gave the rich man more than the beggar because the rich man was doing something and the beggar was doing nothing. The wise man smiled, and when they got to the palace, he became a fair and wise king. The story teaches us that we should always act fairly. One of the fundamental characteristics that set human beings apart from other creatures that God created is their need for justice. In Genesis, we see that human beings were made in the image of God. This means that humans were created to be God's representatives on earth and carry out his plan, abiding by the morals and concepts of justice that God himself abides by. According to the biblical justice that God sets forth, all humans are equal and all humans are created in his image. All humans deserve to be treated with fairness and justice. Of course, as we all know, human beings do not always behave this way. Instead, even in the earliest parts of the Bible, we see humans rejecting God's principles of biblical justice and instead begin defining good and evil for themselves in a way that gives them advantages over others. Out of this mess, God raises up a man named Abraham and positions him to start a new line of people with his family, one that is ruled by both righteousness and justice. So what does God mean when he tells Abraham and his people to live their lives with righteousness and justice? In the Bible, righteousness refers to a moral of good in which you treat those around you with decency and fairness, recognizing that all of them are made in the image of God just like you. As Christians, we should stand up against injustice and love others with our words and actions. We can have peace knowing that God's will prevail and evil will be dealt with. Romans chapter 12 verses 19 tells us that vengeance belongs to God and he will repay. In the book of Proverbs chapter 31 verses 8 through 9, it says, "Bring about justice, righteousness. Open your mouth for those who can't speak for themselves." Thank you.